Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 30th of April. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which is just visiting that March resistance line. That's currently around the 8,500 zone, just below the 50-day moving average. Want to see an end-of-day close above that, but in the meantime, that is the resistance for this market. Expecting this will be a mid-move consolidation, given that the RSI is at 55 and in the middle of the range, just on the positive side of the range, but like to see the markets at least stay above 8,400 to then give us a chance of a move towards the 8,600 plus zone. On the downside, the 200-day line rising at 83.47 is the natural support. Moving on to the DAX, and here also a sharp recovery, which is continuing. Another gap to the upside, although I suppose the gains are becoming less and less by the day. The gap to fill up there at 22,800, and we're looking for that while we're above the 50-day moving average at 22,200. Worst on offer at the moment, we are hoping, is the top of the recent gap, last week's gap, 21,700. RSI comfortably in the improvement zone at 59. Moving on to the Dow, and here you can see that we've got a market trying to recover the big resistance there, 40,800. So really want to see an end-of-day close above that. The current consolidation not really that meaningful, but we are back above neutral 50 on the RSI for the first time since the end of February, which is quite an achievement. Upside at the moment seen as being up to the 50-day line and the initial April gap down around 41,500. Ideally, we stay above or on the right side of 39,500 now, given that that's been recent support for this market. Moving on to Bitcoin, where we are and we have been hoping for a move towards the 100,000 level. Mid-move consolidation at the moment, looking for 100,000, hopefully early in May. Maybe by the end of May up to 120,000, although that is a little bit optimistic perhaps at this stage. On the downside, the 200-day line just below 90,000, natural support for this market. Moving along to gold, and here we have a situation where, if I can find the gold, here we have a situation where the market has been in a rising trend channel. You can draw that from basically the beginning of last month. Floor of the channel and recent support around the 3260 level. Above that, we are still looking for as high as 3,800 by the end of next month. Might be pushing it, but obviously that channel is a steep one, and that is where we are thinking this market could go while we're above 3260. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with one which we covered, I think, a few days ago. Aurrigo, and it's just near to the target, a rather ambitious target we were looking for, around 85, 86 pence. I think the high today so far is 84.5, but obviously no one's perfect. I'd like to see an end-of-day close above the October resistance there at 77 pence, and actually really looking for this market now to hit £1 plus, which is where it was this time last year, but I'd like to see it stay above the mid-70s or upper 70s. On to Coro, where there's just the first signs of recovery. Obviously, it's not been a great situation, as you can see from the left-hand side of the chart, but a couple of strong candles to start this week, and above recent neckline resistance around 0.87, yesterday's resistance. Looking for at least the 105, 1.1 pence area, even if we fail after that. Best case would be a move to the top of that falling trend channel. 1.35 by the end of next month. On to Carclo, which is a decent looking chart at the moment, gapped up today, rising trend channel that's been in place since this time last year. That's heading for 53 pence. We're looking for that by the end of next month if the shares get a move on. But what I like about this is the way that we've got the 250 and 200 day lines both rising, going into a golden cross for May. And the run up to a golden cross tends to be the strongest part of the cycle. Upside valid here while we're above 28 pence and the 200-day line. You can also see bouncing off, double bounce off RSI 50 as well, which is a leading indicator on the upside. Star of the show today, and very pleased with this one. This is sort of making me look like a rock star in terms of the technicals. The reason for saying that is that we were looking for an end-of-day close, or it suggested that an end-of-day close back above the old April support there at 005 could be a trigger to retest the best levels there at 009 or 0.09, and that's happened today. In fact, we exceeded it with a gap, and I think I said before also, best case scenario target up to the 50-day line. That's currently at 0.17, but not dreaming that we would get to that too quickly. At the moment, though, shares rising as I speak, and an end-of-day close above 009 could take us up to 0.17, that 50-day line. So 10 out of 10 on the charting on that one. 10 out of 10 are also on the charting on this one, GreenRoc, where we're going to a golden cross. We hit our initial target there around 2.4 pence, above 2.4. We've been looking for 3.5, and that was all support from 2023. Best case up to 4.8 pence by the end of next month, while we're above 2.4 pence. Another great situation which has been flagged here, a bit of a lap of honour, getting a bit boring now actually, is Insig AI, winner on technicals and fundamentals. First target here around 23, second one 30, and the final one by the end of next month, hopefully up to 41 pence, the upper parallel of those two resistance line projections. On to a stock where there was a suspicion that the company may be seeing its shares rise, Nanoco. I think they've got a big court case against LG, which obviously one would normally think it would lose, but the market seems to perhaps be indicating that it might win this. Top of that falling trend channel at 13 pence, and we're looking for that while we're above the 50-day line, now rising at 8 pence. On to the last three. First one is Nuformix, which also looks as though it's ready to pop. Here we've got the top of the channel there around 0.25 pence. Had a little spike today, but looking for the upside, at least while we're above recent broken resistance at 0.12. On to a stock which is a rather larger one than we normally look at, but here we've got Smith & Nephew, rising trend channel there, gapped up today after a gap down in March, and so it's a bear trap hide and reversal. Tend to be strong signals, and above mid-range today around £10.40. Looking for a breakout through the 50 and 200-day lines at £10.60 plus, and perhaps up to £12.20 by the end of next month, while we're above the £10.40 zone. RSI is pushed through neutral 50 as well. Finishing off with Zephyr, where shares are up basically 50% since the turn of the year. Top of the channel there, which we've been eyeing up for quite some time, 5.1 pence. And we're looking for that while we're above the March resistance at 4.1 pence. Obviously, the best case here is that by the end of next month, we get up towards the 6 pence zone, which is 1 year resistance. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.